Hello everyone, welcome back to GV Reddy Automation World. We are continuing on the REST Assured framework and we are daily integrating one by one features. Previously we have integrated Excel integration, JSON integration, extend report integration, how to execute in multiple environments and log4j and SLF4j integration, right? How to create reusable methods to execute the framework. These are all we have seen. Today, I am going to explain one more important feature, configuration. Configuration file. That is also one of the important feature of the framework. What is configuration file? What it contains? Right, we will see. It is like a property file. We can call it as a property file or configuration file. It will contain usually whenever we are automating something, we are automating web application, it will contain what is the URL, username, passwords, and then DB details, and then any static URLs. If we are using those things, we will maintain in the configuration. Today we'll see how to create that configuration files. Other than Java files, all those things we will create under SRC test resources only. Either XML files, JSON files, anything other than Java files will create under SRC test resources. We'll create one more folder, okay, config, and then we'll create a configuration file. Okay, here also we will maintain like a environment specific files. UA underscore. Okay, let me create configuration dot property file. It is extension will be properties dot properties. Right. In property file, what we will maintain? If we have a DB details, we can maintain the DB details. Any okay, DB details. If we have application URLs and anything DB URL and DB details. That means the DB credentials and DB details. And if we have any server details, if you want to connect to other servers, and if we have any cloud configuration details, like you want to connect to SaaS Labs, some other cloud tools to execute, right? Our scripts, we will maintain those things. And then if we have any cloud details and then any static data, if we want to maintain any static data, we can maintain. These are all the details we can maintain in the property file. We'll see in our application, mostly what we required. We are getting everything from the either JSON file or XML file. But if we have any database validation, we will do it. If we have any database details, we can add those details. DB, what is the DB server, DB URL, DB password, username. Those things we can maintain here. And currently, for now, what we will maintain, like a report detail. We have some static data. Who is the tester is going to test it? Suppose we have written this. So we will write those things. Key and value pairs. We have to maintain a key and value pairs. Tester. Right, something. Okay, right. Okay, environment. If you want to maintain it, we are anyway environment. We are reading from the dynamic parameters, runtime parameters. We are reading. We no need to give here. And then what else we have? We have this one project. What is the project? We can give something like project. We can give okay, rest assured project. Some name. If your project name is something different, we have to give that client name. What is the which client we are implementing this. And then report name, document title, report name, document title, report name, document title. Okay. These are whatever static data. These will mostly will not change. Right. If you configure outside, tomorrow someone is using, they want this framework, some other project. Right, they will change here. Instead of hard coding inside a code, we can create a configuration file. We can keep it. Some other projects very easily they can modify this by using in the property. Now, how to read this property file? For that, we'll create a one class. We'll make it as a config util. Config util. Okay. And then we will maintain one public static void load config data. Okay, we'll load the config data. First, we will get the environment. Okay, string environment dot get property. Okay, then after that, what we required? We required properties class object. Properties class object. We required properties. What is properties? From where it is coming? This is collections. It is one of the class in the collections only. So if you see, it is extend as table. Properties class extend as table. So it is also used to key value pairs on, but it has a additional features. Prop dot. We can load the property. We can load the property file. Okay, we can load it. For load method, what we have to give input stream. We have to provide the input stream. So what we will do, new file input stream, system.get property. Where is our property file? src test resources config. And then we are appending environment underscore config dot properties. See, maybe kept right? Save name. Save naming convention should be same. Config dot properties. Okay, it is I think throwing a checked exception. We have to handle it. It is throwing file not found exception, IO exceptions. Okay, it is loaded the properties. But how to read it? Right, how to read it? So what we will do, we will make this as a private static property variables so that we will load this. And then we will create a, to load this, we will create one static block, load config data. I think it is throwing checked exception. We can handle it by using parent class exception directly. Then we can throw the exception. Okay, now this way we will also make it as a private. We will create how to read the data from the properties. Now it is loaded data inside prop, this object data is in. How to read from that? We will create a one public static get property method. It will return string. We can pass the key, it will return the value. Get property. Suppose if there is no, suppose you are passing the wrong key, we can also what we can do, we can return empty. If we are passing a property which is not exists, then we can return empty. So now how to load data? Whenever we will try to read, class is loaded, automatically static block will execute. It will load, it will call the load config data, and it will store the data into the property object. That it will load all the data into property. Automatically static block will execute whenever class is loaded. So when the class will be loaded, whenever you are calling first time. So where I required, we go to report util. Now here we will call config util dot get property. What is the name? Same name we have to give. What is the name here? Project. So project name. Maybe we can give it as a project name. Report name, naming conventions, maintain the naming conventions. It will be project name. Then we can give project name. Here tester also. Config util dot tester name. Okay, we can change it to tester. Who is the executing? That means who is not required, just for tester name who is executing. And then a report name, document title. We can also change this. Config dot get property. What is the report name? That we have to give same key name. Report name. Report name. And then document title. Report name and document. Okay, so that there is no hard coded in the report util. Similarly, wherever if we have any hard coded values, just extract to the property files, that is configuration file. Okay, currently we don't have any other things, only this is. I want a dev configuration. Just what we will do, just copy paste and change environment. Okay, dev underscore config. Tomorrow I want to add one more, just inside data will change. That's it. Okay, now we can execute this one. Right, how to execute? You can execute by passing we need to pass the runtime parameter, which environment we want to execute. Click on the run. Just click on the run, and then what else we can do? We can add a loggers so that right we know data is loading. Okay, where is go to our config util. Okay, get okay, what is the logger class? This one we have to use. Okay, logger factory dot get logger. And we change the name of the class, and then just so that what is the advantage while executing, we know what is going on, whether loading data or not. Loading configuration data. Right, so that we can. If we want to logger dot, what we will do, logger dot debug. If we enable debug, it will show all the data. Also, we can print it all the properties data. Okay, in debug, suppose if you are getting any issue while it is loading data or not. If we enable in the log4j debug mode, it will enable. Currently, we have enabled info. Currently, we have enabled info, so only info messages will show. If we want to enable that, we can enable debug mode. If we are getting any issues, we can enable debug mode in the logback.xml file. Where we want to enable, here. Instead of info, we can make it as a div. So it will show debug messages. Okay, like this, we can integrate a property file into our framework. I think mostly coding part, what are all the features we have integrated. If you are thinking any feature is missing in this, just let me know. I can integrate that also. Mostly of the features we have integrated. Mainly, if you are doing automation means what is the important thing, how to read the test data. And then one is the report. One is the report and configuration file, property file, test data file. We have integrated two types of test data. Either we can read it from Excel or JSON. Both features we have enabled. Okay, fine. If you have any questions or doubt, please post in the comment section. I will reply to those. If you like my video, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, enable notifications. Please share to your friends. Yeah, thanks for watching.